Hi my friends, we are talking about the most valuable, precious, unconquerable and you can add any adjective resource called time. Normally in my time management program, which I have been conducting for the past nearly 4 decades, there was a time when I was suggesting certain external peripheral behavioral changes. Like for example, you can have a to-do list and things will be all right. Right? For example, you can have your goals listed, you write it down and you can set your priorities and you can reach your priorities. Then I started discussing with them what are the priorities based on. Are they important? Are they urgent? But then I understood that even though these are all simple common sense principles, they were not able to implement it. The reason is not that they don't want to implement these things. They are very keen. They are very obsessed. But there was something preventing them. Then I understood it is nothing but the mind power. And that is why I changed my approach to time management, because as I said in many other episodes, time is not in your control, and what is not in your control you don't manage. And if you cannot manage, it is not in your control, so it becomes a vicious circle. So as far as time is concerned, you have to take time as a fixed resource and start thinking, how am I going to improve the productivity of time? Just to give a recap of the basic structure on which we are discussing. In that, one segment is we have to be highly motivated. We have to transform internally. We need to go through an internal transformation, core transformation. It's something like, when you want to change the speed of a car, you don't accelerate too much. There is a limit beyond which the engine will not take it. If you exert too much pressure on the engine, either the engine will go off or you will meet with the accident. If you want to go for a racing, maybe your ordinary bike will not do. You have to go for a racing bike. Because a racing bike is designed, is engineered for that speed. Similarly, if you want to achieve great things, you have to be engineered in a different way. Attitudinally, you have to be engineered in a different way. That's what we are discussing. Your mind has to be transformed. Your mind has to be changed completely, redesigned. That's why I'm giving the example of the Olympic mindset, right? The type of mindset they have. That's why I was giving this quotation of Serena Williams. Even if some shooting is taking place in the next street, your ability to focus on your tennis, that is the type of focus you need to have. So that is the seventh one, the strong focus. That's what the Olympic players are. I was doing some research as to how these Olympic players are equipping themselves with this mindset. There are distractions. In fact, let us be very clear. Distractions is the normal day. See, as I said in one other episode, if you want a day without distraction, you will not get one. It's something like wanting to drive your car at a time when there will be no traffic. It doesn't happen. It may happen, as I said, some other episode. It might happen, but such things cannot be a normal feature. But then you need to understand the type of distractions. Now you can distinguish the distractions into internal and external factors. right? Internally generated distraction. Our thoughts, for example, worries, concerns, sickness, internal, right? I have a problem to do with my cholesterol. I have a problem with my blood pressure. I have a problem with my, what shall I say, ferritin, iron, right? My hemoglobin content. Or my thoughts may be dwelling on the past. I don't know whether you remember what I said. Timeline I was talking to you about. We have a past, we have a present, and we have the future. In fact, couple of episodes later, I'm going to explain to you the 9 positions in life. In a few episodes from now, I'll explain to you 9 positions in life. 9 positions consisting of 2 factors. One is our time, which is past, present, and future. The other one is, from my point of view, from my friend's point of view, or from a neutral observer's point of view. So 3 times 3, 9. Later on, I am going to discuss with you how you can redefine your life from these 4 grids point of view. So thoughts that dwell on the past performance, again it is an internal. See, whatever you are going to think, whatever you may worry, however much you may feel bad about it, you cannot put the clock back. Please understand. Please understand that. So that's an internal distraction. Thoughts that obsess on future results, outcomes and consequences. That is, some people will be only thinking about the future. Either worried about they did not do well in the past, or so much agitated that they may fail in the future. Obsession. So, about the upcoming examination, about the upcoming project, about the upcoming presentation before an MD, an upcoming, let's say, product launch. So, they are all internal. And also, you may have negative self-talk. No, this will not work. I am not that worthwhile. I am a failure. Right? High arousal and anxiety level which can narrow our attention and decrease the athletes. I took it from the athlete's point of view, but it applies for our day-to-day life also. See, tension will be there. You mean to say when MS Dhoni goes to bat or keep the wicket, or Virat Kohli goes to bat and the whole world is watching, right? And the spectators, about 40,000-50,000 spectators watching, you mean to say he will walk without any tension? He will have tension. The only thing is, he knows how to convert the tension into positive energy. If you don't know, the tension will be a negative energy. It's a question of how smart are you on this conversion. And also fatigue. Because you are talking about the past, you are mentally tired. Or you are so much worried about the future, you become mentally tired, fatigue. And the Olympic players or any sports people are also disturbed by the external distractions like spectators, cameras, scoreboard, competitors, and the negative criticism of the crowd cheering, the crowd booing, all those things. That applies to us also. It doesn't mean that only the Olympic players experience it. No, we also experience it. Right? So that means we need to improve our attention span. We need to improve our attention span. I have also conveyed a couple of episodes ago how the attention span is coming down. In fact, there are many things coming down. I was reading a recent book on management. It says that there was a time when companies existed for a comfortable 60 years. 60 years. That is, from the time of inception to the time of closure, the companies existed for 60 years. But now the recent research says not more than 20 years a company can exist. Now why am I saying that? The attentions, like the attention span, the longevity span is also coming down. Technology is becoming obsolete. Look at the various highly technological products you were using couple of years ago. Like when I went to US couple of years ago, there was a gadget to give you the map, German. Every house will have it, every car will have it, German. Right? Now, what happened recently, the mobile phone has got the Google map. The mobile phone has the Apple map. So that is an app, you don't need a gadget for that. Now that company was focusing only on a product. They could have easily developed an app because that app can work on any other instrument, any other gadget. So we need to be looking at time as a very, very important cutting edge. The amount of concentrated time a person can spend on a task without becoming distracted. Like what Swami Vivekananda said, take only one objective, one goal in life and give yourself. Let every cell, every blood vessel be occupied by that one thought. And that is the surest way to succeed. Otherwise, what happened? We become fickle-minded. Fickle-minded. That is, I continue to do something, then all of a sudden, no, this is not what I should be doing. Then I switch over to some other thing, then we come back to the old one. Right? Now, this is not going to help you. How long are you going to stay focused? Your ability to maintain, retain, your ability to sustain your enthusiasm is very, very important. The element of distractibility occurs when the individual is uncontrolled by, drawn to some other activity. That is, I am focusing on that, something interesting is taking place. Or somebody gives me something and I start thinking, oh, this is not the one I should be doing, that is better, I do it. Okay? And you have the potential. In fact, in one of the college meetings, I asked the students, do you want to know who is responsible for your future? There is a most powerful person who can help you to do whatever you want. Shall I give you the name of the person? Everybody said yes, yes, yes. I said, go back home today. Go to your dressing room. Look at your mirror. That is that person. And if you want to know who is that enemy who is going to destroy the same person, it is you. So, the distraction is not necessarily from outside, the distraction is from inside, right? So, I came across this wonderful quotation, the performance is equal to potential minus internal interference. Performance is equal to potential minus internal interference. Now let's say that I am capable of performing, sustaining my attention, continuing my effort, but then there is inner voice inside me, oh, this is not what you should be doing. Easily I am distracted. So this ratio is very, very important. I am going to give you two important tools. One is called insulation, the other is called isolation. Insulation and isolation. I don't know whether I have given this episode in an earlier occasion, but still it's worth repeating. Insulation is saying no to unnecessary internal and external disturbance. You know, we talk about insulation material. We talk about the heat insulators. We talk about electrical insulators. Saying no, I don't want to talk about it. And isolation is, let me put it this way, creating what I call my personal time. My personal time. Isolation. You remove yourself. You won't be able to change the society. You won't be able to change your friend's profile. You won't be able to shut off the external disturbance, but you will be able to take yourself out from that. Insulation and isolation. For doing this, you need to understand in what way you are responsible for your own time loss. I wrote a book called The Gift of Time. I wrote it nearly about 25-30 years ago. For writing this book, I interviewed a lot of people, lot of successful people, lot of people who have achieved something great in their life. Not necessarily they are big politicians and big sports personality, even housewives, even students, even ordinary people, street vendors who are very happy, See, happiness cannot be measured by the amount of bank balance you have. Happiness cannot be measured by the number of promotions you got in an organization. Are you in a happy state of mind? At the end of the day, do you say, oh God, this day was full of distractions, but I completed my task? So check whether you have these self-imposed time wasters. Insufficient planning. For this episode, I need to plan. If you want to launch a company, if you want to launch a product, you have to plan. In fact, somebody gave a beautiful ratio for planning. Now, supposing you have this much time. Let us say you have 10 units of time, 10 days or 10 months, and divided it into 2 and 8. If you spend only 2 units for planning, you need 8 units for execution. Because you didn't plan it properly. Okay? So there will be rework. You have to go back, retrace, correct the mistakes. On the other hand, if you are able to, the same 10 units of time, if you are able to use 8 units and 2 units, 8 units for planning, you need only 2 units for execution. I hope you are able to understand this. So, to what extent you plan is very, very important. You need to take a lot of time in planning. So, you may be suffering from that. Or inability or failure to anticipate. It is your own internal disturbance. Vague or poorly defined goals. You don't distinguish between a goal, desire, need, want. I explained to you some time back, is your goal SMART enough? S-M-A-R-T. Specific, measurable, actionable. Yes, specific, measurable, actionable, realistic, time bound. Unrealistic time estimates. You think it will take half an hour, it takes more than that. Procrastination, the tendency to postpone things without any reason. Accepting more than what you can manage. Somebody used to say, trying to chew more than you can swallow. Our own mistake, going too much into details, or ineffective delegation, excessive control. In a future episode, I am going to discuss about delegation in detail. If your people are not capable of performing, you will not be able to develop. You cannot grow without their growing. And why? Because of excessive control. Interrupting others. Now, are you forwarding all messages? People will forward to you. Are you a person who spread rumor? Others will come to your table to spread rumor. Over socializing. Somebody may invite you for a function. It doesn't mean you should go there. Right? Somebody may telephone you. It doesn't mean that you have to pick it up. Right? Inability to terminate visit. Somebody comes to your desk. You don't know how to terminate. Preoccupation, mind wandering, emotional upsets, lack of discipline, lack of assertiveness. In a future episode, I'm going to connect all these things. So, our insulation and isolation should take into account these parameters. Let me sum up this today's episode. Your focus is very, very important. The quality of your focus is very, very important. It is not the amount of time you are spending on a project. It is the amount of quality of focus on the project which is very, very important. So, the Olympic episode of strong focus is very, very important. Over this weekend, think about it, how you fare in these parameters. See you in the next episode.